Hello to everyone, and welcome to Godwin's TV. I'm your host, Reverend Sonja. Those of you who have read my book before, Jesus Was in My Room Last Night, My Spiritual Struggle with Chronic Illness, have known or understand that I had been diagnosed in 1994 with a chronic illness called sarcoidosis. And you also know that through Christ, I have found the cure and have cured myself, and I don't have that disease anymore. So what's interesting, though, is I was put on prednisone, heavy doses of prednisone, and that's how I gained all my weight. So I'm large and lovely. Here I am. And so that's one of the residual effects of the disease combined with the medication that it left me with. So for whatever reason as well, it also left me with a lot of pain in not my joints, in my muscles. So if I were to take just a multivitamin, I would get a 3-day full body migraine. Okay, so it was not pleasant. So I couldn't take vitamins and minerals. I couldn't eat super healthy. I just had to eat, meat and potatoes and stuff like that. Like, I couldn't really get into a whole ton of salads or anything like that. So, but that was just one of the things that I just struggled with. I couldn't exercise. There was no way. And people would say, oh, well, you got all this weight, you should just exercise. No, people just did not understand the pain that I was in all the time. Okay, so if I just take my arm here and I just rub my fist down it like this, I would hit the roof. Like, that was so painful. I could only sleep. I felt like a well-done sausage. I could sleep on one side for about 3 hours, and then I had to turn over to the other side for another 3 hours, and then I'd have to turn over, for another 2 hours because that one already still hurt. And by the time you wake up in the morning, you're like a well-done sausage on all sides, and it just hurt so bad. I had a hard time going upstairs. Everything was painful just because of the pain in my muscles. If I exercised a little bit, how you get pain in your muscles from the lactic acids sitting in your muscles, it would probably be 10 times worse. So exercise was just completely out of the question. And I thought, well, you know what? Maybe it's our water here out in the country. So I got myself a water cooler. You probably just heard it gurgle there a moment ago. And I put, what is it called? I put the filtered water in it, the water that just has absolutely nothing in it, and tried that for a while. That didn't seem to make a difference. I thought maybe it was milk products. I thought maybe one of the things that I can't even remember if it's the disease or the prednisone does is it gives you a high blood calcium. It sucks all the calcium out of your bones and puts it in your blood. So you wind up with high blood calcium, and so therefore you are prone to muscle cramps and breaking bones and that sort of thing, and osteoporosis and a whole list of stuff like that. So therefore I would take a lot of magnesium in order to bind with the calcium to put the calcium back in the bones where it belongs. Okay, so that was my remedy for that. And I still take magnesium to this day just to do that. And but still I had this problem with the pain in my muscles. I thought maybe it was milk products So I cut out ice cream and everything for probably about a year. That didn't seem to, maybe it might have cut out 5% of the pain, but it really didn't make a huge difference. And so I went back to eating milk products, milk and cheese, and that sort of thing. But I just couldn't figure it out. So I went to the doctor one day and I said, look, what can we do about this pain? I don't want to just take pain pills the rest of my life. I don't think the cure is Tylenol. I don't think that my problem is that I have a lack of Tylenol in my body. Like, I just don't think that's what it is. So they did a bunch of tests. And because I thought, I'm looking up on the internet, what could this be? I'm not on any medication. I'm not on, I'm not doing anything weird. I'm not eating anything unusual. Like I said, meat and potatoes, chicken, kind of a person, And they said, the tests all came back and they said, well, you don't have rheumatoid arthritis. Because that's what I had suspected when I looked online and, had all the symptoms of rheumatoid arthritis. And they said, you don't have rheumatoid arthritis, but your rheumatoid factor is high. Okay. I don't really know what that means, but okay. Like it's as if I had rheumatoid arthritis. So I started, looking more online and trying to figure out, okay, what could this be? And that's when I came across this book, as many of you probably have. It's called Wheat Belly, and by Dr. William Davis. Okay, now this book has virtually changed the country. His idea is that wheat has changed because it has been genetically modified and is no longer the wheat that they used in the Bible to make bread. Okay, so as a result of this book coming out, and probably not a direct result, a lot of people have changed their lifestyle and have gone gluten-free. And because it's the gluten in the wheat that holds it all together, that makes your nice loaf of bread all stick together nicely. Okay, and that's what, since farmers and, growers have been growing wheat and changed it and mixed this grain with this other thing to try to make it grow taller, bigger heads, last longer, resistant to these bugs and those bugs and everything like that. They forgot to double check to see if people could still eat it. Okay, so that's the theory anyways. And so he has his own story, which I won't really go into, about how he discovered this and how he used it on all of his patients, and so many different cures pretty much happened. Like he reversed his own diabetes and things like this. And so I thought, okay, well, maybe let me try going without wheat for a week. Now, I'm not the kind of a person who's going to, I don't enjoy sitting there and reading labels on everything. Generally speaking, okay, there's a lot of salt in soup, okay. But I don't sit there and read every label while I'm grocery shopping. Going without wheat or going without gluten meant to me no bread, no pasta. Simple. Eat rice, eat potatoes, no bread, no pasta. Not a big deal. If I have a salad, I would have all the ingredients, or if I wanted a sandwich, I would have all the ingredients in the sandwich to make a salad instead of having a sandwich. It's just cutting out the bread, you know. So no problem. You know, I went without wheat or without gluten for a week. And, you know, it was a little bit of a lifestyle change in the household here, but, you know, no big deal. And, you know, people had to just, I'm not the one who does the cooking in the house. My husband does the cooking. I don't know why he enjoys the cooking. But he's like, okay, well, I guess we can't have spaghetti today, but we're going to have a lot of rice. We're going to have a lot of potatoes and that sort of thing. So anyways, after a week, like, it was amazing. I felt so much better. I was just going like this and going, I'm trying to find pain. Like, I mean, I'm doing this right now and it doesn't hurt. It does not hurt, you know? And I was like, wow, this is a really, really great, you know? So I decided to do another week. And, after another week, I would have to say it probably got rid of probably 60 to 70% of the pain, you know, and then after about a month, probably 80% of the pain. And that's kind of where it sits right now. It's not 100% gone. I have to be honest with you. I cheat. I do cheat. I will have the odd cookie once in a while. You know, like I said, I don't read labels. You know, I couldn't be bothered. I figured if it's got that little teeny weeny bit in, you know, something that it's in a bottle or in a can or something like that, you know, I'm good with that. You know, it's not like this is an allergy where I'm gonna, you know, they're gonna have to call the ambulance and clear, you know, it's not like that. Okay, so one thing I found out in a big hurry though is how freaking expensive going gluten-free is. I would go to restaurants and if you know, like, and you know what, everybody had to make changes with this whole gluten-free thing, because like I was saying, the whole country changed. The whole country is still changing and evolving because of this whole gluten-free movement, shall we say. So I'll just show you as an example. I got the grocery list right here. I bought some bread the other day. And the rest of my family is not gluten-free, just me. I'm just gluten-free. And it, like I said, it's a lifestyle choice. Okay, so here is where we got this. This is a regular loaf of bread. Well, it's not regular, it is an extended loaf of bread. It's a big loaf, one of these Italian bread things. How much did I pay for this? This was $3.37 for this loaf of this Italian bread, this sandwich bread. Okay, this is for my son when he goes to work. $3.37 for that. This one, this is a gluten-free loaf. This is just, and again, it's enriched with vitamins and minerals. Source of fiber, dairy-free, but it says all but gluten. It's a gluten-free loaf. It's this short in comparison. How much did I pay for that? $5.99. Like, are you kidding me? $5. Like, are you serious? $5.99. $6 for this loaf of bread. So here you go. Like, there's one, there's the other. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's That's expensive. And there's some people who just will not pay that. If you go to a restaurant and you want to go gluten-free, you have to ask for a gluten-free menu. Okay, so I walked into Boston Pizza one day. We were going out for dinner, and I asked if they had gluten-free choices. And this is when Boston Pizza was just starting to try to deal with this whole gluten-free thing. And they had a gluten-free menu that you have to ask for. And the spaghetti, they had gluten-free spaghetti. And so I asked for some kind of dish. I don't know if it was jambalaya or something like that with gluten-free spaghetti. And the waitress came back and said, well, our manager, we have the gluten-free spaghetti, but the manager says it's so gross that she refuses to serve it to anybody. So I was like, okay, well, I guess today I'm just gonna have the regular spaghetti. So I never had the gluten-free spaghetti there. Oh, and so now Boston Pizza now has gluten-free pasta. It's not spaghetti, it's other different kinds of pasta. And it is really good. I mean, you can't even tell that it's gluten-free. It's really good. It's the spinny rotini or something like that, or whatever the different names for the different shapes of pasta are called. But it doesn't cling together like the gluten-free spaghetti before was just like one big clump of massive stickiness. It was so anyway, Boston Pizza's gluten-free pastas are fine. Okay. I went to another restaurant. I have to give a shout out to ABC Country Restaurant in Red Deer, Alberta. They, I swear, have the best gluten-free buns around. I went in there one day and we went out for lunch once again. Well, we often do, apparently. And I asked them, I said, well, do you have gluten-free choices? Yes, we do. And, she was happy to supply me with a menu. And now their gluten-free choices are marked right in the main menu. So now I asked for gluten-free. I wanted to have a burger. So I asked for a gluten-free bun. So, okay, the meal came and everything like that, and everything was fine. But the bun looked like just an ordinary bun, And I was like, this can't be gluten-free. I like this. They've mixed this up. I know it. I know they've mixed this up. So when the waitress came by, and I even put a little butter on it, and I tasted it. And it tasted like an ordinary bun. And so when the waitress came by, I said to her, excuse me, is this a gluten-free bun? And she looked at it and she said, well, I believe it is, but let me talk to the chef. So she went back to the chef. She comes back and she says, yes, the chef assures me that it is a gluten-free bun. Okay. I said, could I please talk to the chef myself? So she goes back and she gets the chef. The chef comes out and I said, are you sure this is a gluten-free bun? And she said, yes, this is a gluten-free bun. And by this time I had taken several bites and I said, well, my goodness, I said, this is the best gluten-free bun I had ever tasted. Please, it tastes exactly like a regular bun because I had no side effects, no nothing after eating that gluten-free bun. Okay, so shout out to ABC Family Restaurant in Red Deer, Alberta. You guys have the best gluten-free buns around. It's awesome. And so yeah, so I did try to bake gluten-free. That was a complete disaster. Yeah, like I tried different flours. It's always you can't just go and get rice flour instead of wheat flour and baking and expect it to turn out the same. It's always this scientific formula where you gotta put rice flour with tapioca flour with some other flour and all these kinds of things, and it's just and for me it always it was always such a disaster. So I have stopped baking. I will bake, but I will bake for my family, and 9 times out of 10 I'll have one piece and not eat the rest because it's not gluten-free. But I tell you, now I can get up and I can run around and it's not a problem. Like I said, the pain is probably 80% gone. This is not the end of the pain. There's got to be, I'm sure there's more to this story later on. There's probably something else underneath that is giving me pain. And that's still one thing that I have to figure it out, because Jesus, when he came to my room, that's one of the things that he said is sometimes it's a puzzle and you have to figure it out. You know, healing doesn't always just happen just like that. I was healed with kidney stones, just like that. That was amazing. The sarcoidosis was nutritional, and so I must have been lacking something in my body, because I ate papaya like a handful a day, and that seemed to clear out that sarcoidosis. Like it was gone in, a matter of months. And so like he said, sometimes it's a puzzle and you have to figure it out. This going gluten-free, I think, is one part of the puzzle. I am starting to consider doing some exercise. Okay, so then I did buy this book, Wheat Belly Total Health. And because I was told, oh yeah, if you go gluten-free, not necessarily in this book, but if you go gluten-free, you'll lose tons of weight. So, did I lose weight? No, I did not. I did not lose weight. It's all still here. Lots of people have lost weight. I have not. So when I bought this book, Wheat Belly Total Health, I found out that if you've been on prednisone effectively gets rid of your ability to lose weight. Now, I've been told that things have been impossible before. And there's nothing impossible with God. Okay? So, and it doesn't mean that I can't try to lose weight. It doesn't mean that I can't try. I have accepted that I am a large lady and I am beautiful the way I am. However, I would like for my muscles to be stronger than what they are, because right now my muscles are garbage. I mean my arms are like so it doesn't mean that I can't try and that I can't explore and that I can't follow God's guiding, So basically this is why I went gluten-free, and I am still gluten-free to this day, generally speaking. And if you have, been on prednisone and if you have had a lot of pain in your body, I would encourage you to try going gluten-free for a little while at least and see maybe if that will help you. And talk to your doctor. I talked to my doctor, and the only thing he told me was lose weight. And I was like, you tell me how and I'll do it, you know? So I've tried all kinds of things to lose weight and nothing has really helped. So I'm not focusing on losing weight. I'm just focusing on trying to get my body better, right, than what it is. Getting the pain gone, maybe get the muscles stronger, you know, that sort of thing. So, okay, so I hope that helps. And